But I look, looking at what leadership is, let's look at it. So it's a good motivator. It's a master in the art of communication. It guides you rather than rules you, and it prompts you to be the best you can be. That's what leadership is about. So here's my story. In the spring of 2002, I managed the Caroline. We were in charge of exhibitions there. An artist came to us that lives here in Charlotte and wanted an exhibition about war. He was sort of struck by the images on CNN, and you'll know, you see these abstract images of bombings. And he said, we look at war as a video game. We all do. And he wanted to have an exhibition about that. And the Caroline agreed. He thought it was the dialogue that was worth having. And so he painted images from those scenes. And they really read like romantic landscapes, if you could imagine, clouds and things of that nature. And then he also enlarged visuals that read sort of like abstract works on paper. The exhibition had been planned for a year. And then, if you all think the spring of 2002, what happened in the fall? 9/11. And a couple of weeks before we installed the show, the United States started bombing Afghanistan. All right. We put the show up, everything went well, and then we put the signage up on the wall that night. And the next morning the phone rang at 8 o'clock, and the manager of the Caroline called me and said, take the show down. I understood. I stated that, maybe this is a great opportunity for the community to look at these issues. But he said take it down. Because a manager, a facilities manager in the largest tenant of the building, was offended by this exhibition and did not want his employees to see it, which I completely understood. But we wanted the opportunity to have that dialogue. So we took the show down, but we asked if the manager would send an email to all the tenants and said, I'm available and the artist is available to talk to anyone about the show. And we had one request from that building, 600 people. And it was the facility manager. Now what you need to know about this facility manager is he was one of my best clients. He was a great guy. He did a great job. We worked together for 2 years putting the images together for his firm. And we even took long lunch times together occasionally because he was really interested in art, he was interested in learning, and he wanted to take drawing classes. So I participated in that conversation around him. So Friday afternoon, the artist and I came, Phyllis, the facility manager, came, and we sat in this room at 3 o'clock, and we talked. Because what I wanted to say was, I didn't mention this a little earlier, but about art being those things that we talked about. That what happened through this conversation is that the artist got to really show that how this was a vehicle for him to do those things about leadership. It gave him an opportunity to push beyond the conversation that we all know, and it was a great motivator for him. And his important being from Europe, that how we really look at these images, and it was important for him to make that universal statement. Well, the facility manager had a different story. He got a gunner in Vietnam. So these images for him were really close and personal and very disturbing for him. So we got to sit here that afternoon and really look at these issues together, which were great. I thought it was great. It was like one of the first, even though I do this all the time for 30 years, I felt that connectedness, how art was serving as that leader for us. It was a magical moment for me because it allowed us to push beyond ourselves back to those leadership issues. It was a great motivator, as I said, and it gave us an opportunity to kind of grow together. So after we had this conversation with the gentleman, we were just chit-chatting about families. And the gentleman said, talking about his son, he said, my son's a graphic artist. He lives in California. And he said, what's he do? He said, well, he's a graphic artist. He designs video games for the military when they practice war. He designs military games for the military. And I'm to John. And I mean, I grew up, I was in college, getting on where I wore my bracelet. Guess what? I didn't see the Lord except through videos. And I looked at John and I said, I never thanked you for serving in the Lord. And I had to feel about it. Because it's not a political conversation all along, that we're having. And he looked at me, he said, and I said, can I thank you? He said, yes. He said, and I've never been home. So, artist leadership, oh my goodness, absolutely. He gave us permission to listen and learn from each other. He gave us permission to get outside ourselves. And I believe that it made us all together people with that experience, which is what leadership is all about. So artist leadership, absolutely, and it's been the best leader